Buddha, 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 Buddha. Yo!
In the mix.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Planetary HQ. You already know the deal. The planetary headquarters for all your celestial information. We are live from the Urantia conference, bringing that big energy, bringing that big starlight energy, deciphering the light codes.
The light codes.
Sharing them with the brothers and sisters, having a good time. I'm gonna do it again because it's how I start every live stream. Live in person with my brothers. It's the best feeling. It's way better than talking through a screen. This isn't the entire purpose of actually doing the live stream, is ranting about how technology affects us and how, looking at three-dimensional image on a two-dimensional plane messes with your eyes, and how interfacing with each other just through these screens is deteriorating. We can do an entire episode on that. We're not here to talk about that. But what I'm saying right here is just to be with you guys in person is really... I'm feeling like I'm Neo in the Matrix right now. So
heck yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you for tuning in. We're just excited. We're going to be silly with it and we're going to go deep with it. Today, we are talking about the celestial artisans, the celestial artisans, what you do in the afterlife. Can you believe it? Actually, we got a track and a music video coming out soon. We did a snippet. Stay tuned and we might give you guys a snippet. It's about the light codes and we bring it into like a hip hop, thought form, medium, whatever you want to call it, hip hop light codes. And we're trying to evolve it from hip hop to star hop. We can start talking about better types of stuff. And we believe that creativity is one of the best modes and mechanisms for expressing the personality. We always talk about hitting your potential, and creativity, music, art, all types of creativity. Think of Da Vinci when you think of it. He did everything. Art, paint, music, sculpt, math, astronomy, everything. Science, anatomy, all of this art. Try to apply that to your life and you'll find a fun, creative way to learn and express yourself. That's the key. Mm-hmm. God is a creator. So when you create, you channel into him.
True that.
He gave us the ability to procreate. We can create kids. Because he's a creator, he gave us the ability to create. It's really cool. And if you want to get closer to the Father, then do what he did. He created, so create. That's what we're doing with these videos. And we're going to talk about that right now from one of our favorite, should I say, our cult classic, the Urantia book.
The Urantia book.
The Alien Bible. Some people call it the Tarantula book. You probably heard that around. If you ever hear about that, that's a code word for the Urantia book.
Or the El Rancho book.
Or the El Rancho book, yeah. Or the Uranta book. Never mind.
Ranch dressing book.
It's one of our favorites. This is paper, what is it? 44. From the Celestial Artisans, like I said. So we'll dive into it. It's pretty much about after you die, and not only after you die, what alien civilizations are doing to contribute to art on a cosmic level. They have art that you can't even think of. They have our art and more. Mm-hmm. I don't have to give you a rundown. We'll go into it when we start reading. So you guys got anything to say before we hop into the text?
I'm excited. I feel like this paper is a little treat. When you're reading through the Urantia book, you just powered through the first 43 papers. I mean, this is where it starts
and
really getting
interesting.
interesting.
Your brain's like, what am I even reading?
Oh yeah, after energy, mind, and matter, and the constellations. You just got done reading a lot about space bureaucracy and a lot of advanced concepts.
Space bureaucracy, like studying the DMV for 40 chapters,
which I find very interesting. But as a new reader, it's pretty headache-inducing. A lot of new information. You're drinking through a water hose. And then you get this paper, which is just wildly imaginative. A lot of these Urantia realm themed papers are. It just takes your mind elsewhere, to a higher dimension. It gives you the ability to visualize in your mind something you never thought you would be capable of imagining on your own. Wildly creative. This is one of my favorite papers. I got like 30 favorite papers in this book, but it's a good one. I'll get you pumped up to make some art like these celestial artisans.
Yeah. For my little opening pitch here, how to get you excited is that the mystique of the afterlife is very ethereal, shall I say, in most of the perceptions on the earth religions in 21st century. And so, what if I told you that the coolest, most artful celestial things, here on earth are like shadows of what people will be creating in the afterlife, and that you'll actually have a lot more time to do creativity because you're not having that same fight for survival.
Nope.
Yeah.
And you're also, all along our journey into the universe, we get to express, the lessons, the all the data we've intake. We get to express that into all these modes and forms and harmonies and songs, and that's all part of the infinite creation, the manifestation of God into the finite. And art's dank. We've been making some art this week with some new songs. And now we're going to study, artists in the afterlife, or how you can be a celestial artisan, get that status, and really get up there on them mansion worlds.
Yeah.
Jesus said there's many mansions in my Father's house, and we're here to tell you that means the universe. There are many sectors and sections of the universe for the afterlife portion, and we get to be artists dancing through them all.
Like this. This gets you through the Orion sector. And then when you go to the Pleiades, you have to body roll. No, but sorry guys. For real, you to an alien, to an ET, you're an ET. Okay. So you are, if you're doing art right now, you already are a celestial artisan. And you can carry this career, this hobby, this love on into the stars. And they are constantly waiting for new souls to arrive with new creative contributions, because personality is unique. Everybody is unique. They have their own contribution to the cosmos. The cosmos is like a canvas, a work of art, and with your life, with your art of living, you can contribute to that picture. You can contribute to the cosmic song. Excuse me. Oh, beautiful. That was add that to the cosmic song. And so you're doing it now, and bring that shit to the stars. Because personality is so unique, they're like foaming at the mouth for a new unique personality to join their ranks up there, because they know that new art can only come through you, because you are that divinely unique source. Once people start tapping into that and they start stacking them together and realizing that everybody is a specific channel for a specific type of creation from the Father, because personality is unique, that's a heavy concept. And the fact that they're waiting for that, I hope that stimulates the urge to be creative, and to be so creative that you can contribute to the cosmic orchestra, the cosmic, what would you call it? Mural? Is that the right way?
Tapestry.
Tapestry. Yeah. The one where you can see it with colors.
Yeah, that one.
That one. So let's dive into that. Let's dive into the mix. So I'll start it off. Yeah. All right. Paper 44. Among the courtesy colonies of the various divisional and universe headquarter worlds may be found the unique order of composite personalities denominated the Celestial Artisans. These beings are the master artists and artisans of the Urantia and lower spirit realms. They are the spirits and semi-spirits who are engaged in Urantia embellishment and in spiritual beautification. Such artisans are distributed throughout the grand universe, on the headquarters worlds of the super universes, the local universes, the constellations and systems, as well as on the spheres settled in light and life. But their chief realm of activity is in the constellations, and especially on the 770 worlds surrounding each headquarters sphere. Though their work may be almost incomprehensible to the material mind, it should be understood that the Urantia and spirit worlds are not without their high arts and supernal cultures. The celestial artisans are not created as such. They are selected and recruited. They are a selected and recruited core of beings composed of certain teacher personalities native to the central universe, and their volunteer pupils drawn from the ascending mortals and numerous other celestial groups. The original teaching core of these artisans was sometime assigned by the Infinite Spirit in collaboration with the 7 Master Spirits and consisted of 7,000 Havona instructors, 1,000 of each of the 7 divisions of artisans. With such a nucleus to start with, there has developed through the ages this brilliant body of skillful workers in the spirit and Urantia affairs. That's crazy. So the Infinite Spirit, the third source and center, when people say the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit itself said creation and creativity, art is eternal and must be represented in the cosmos. And they just created a specific core of beings that were responsible to be the teachers for that.
It makes sense. I know the Trinity is beyond gender, but if we were to associate the hierarchy of beings derived from the Infinite Spirit, like the angelic hosts and all that, it does seem a little more of that divine feminine kind of energy, a little more right-brained. So it makes sense that right-brained, intuitive mindset would really encourage the embellishment and the beautification and creative expression. Maybe as opposed to the left-brained, more managerial, administrative types.
Yeah, you're right, because the Urantia book is like mostly like a celestial bureaucracy, a good amount of it, probably the first half of it. And this is like, it's one paper to the non-logical minded, but the intuitive minded, creative minded aspect of the universe. That's funny. You got anything?
No, sorry, I was just checking levels, so I'm tapping in now. So
that's cool. Any Urantia personality or spirit entity is eligible for admission to the core of the celestial artisan. There it is. That's what we were talking about before. That is any being below the rank of inherent divine sonship. Okay, so like divine sons can't join. They're too good. It'd be unfair. It'd be unfair, yeah.
They get their own universe anyway.
Yeah, they create universes.
So let's break this down. Does that include all evolutionary mortals, people who have evolved from some animal, some alien race on a world? They ascend in the afterlife. They're candidates to become celestial artisans if they choose. Midwayers, angels?
Yep. Everybody. Yeah, everybody besides the divine sons. So even finaliters would be able to be part of the core because they're not considered 7-stage spirits yet. They're not complete divine sons, but they're damn near deity. All right, let's keep it going. Ascending sons of God from the evolutionary spheres may, after their arrival on the Urantia worlds, apply for admission to the artisan core, and if sufficiently gifted, may choose such a career for a longer or shorter period. But no one may enlist with the celestial artisans for less than 1 millennia, 1,000 years of super universe time. So it's a blood contract.
Yeah.
You gotta sell your soul for 1,000.
No less than 1,000
years.
I wonder why that is. Could y'all speculate a reason for that? Is it because it takes that long to perfect an art? I mean, they say with game design or a painting or a movie or anything, a good work of art is never finished. It's you kind of just have to cut it off and compromise because you just have to get the art out. It could be a labor of love for the rest of your life. But in the afterlife, you got all the time in the world. I'm sure they would encourage you to move on from a project if you're stuck on something for 500 years, but it does sound like you're given plenty of time to master a skill and then fully express it. Maybe even exhaust it to the best of your ability.
It seems like maybe in the afterlife, I might finally release all the tracks I never put out on Earth because my perfectionism held me back.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then blow up the mansion worlds.
It's kind of I'm joking a bit, but it is true. Like even in the artist path, there's a bunch of lessons to learn. Like for example, when you're working alone,
finishing your tracks.
The discipline you need to finish, publish, produce, and market the tracks. When you're working with a team to push out the music, like how fast you can grow. Also organizing all the event matrix of performing with each other.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things. There's a bunch of lessons within music that have to do with basically how you treat other people, your spiritual ideals in action. So like I said at the start of the podcast. Art is just a form of expression, and within every expression is another chance to improve your perception of, the correct way of action or harmony of the universe.
You're talking about collaborating as a team. It was amazing last night here at this Urantia Summer Study Session 2025. I saw in the atrium a group of musicians performing, and they're just freestyling, and every song they played was near perfect. I mean, the little imperfections and flaws just added to it. It was that richness, but like the guy on the piano, the violinist, the bass, the guitar, everyone together was synchronized, and they'll just name a song. They're like, well, what do you want to play next? How about this song? They'll just come up with a song. They were able to get into that flow state and just riff off of each other. It was basically we were watching a groove session, and they're so locked in with each other that it was amazing. So that's one thing I really admire about musicians in particular is that during a jam session, you're not just doing it by yourself. You're kind of synchronizing with other people, following the same major, minor chords, whatever, same keys. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's dope. You start like communicating telepathically. You start shooting light beams at each other at like a high rate, and then you like synchronize. You can feel it. It's kind of cool that that's an aspect of just being inherently a will creature.
Yeah,
a son or a daughter of God. It's pretty cool. Some people need to work on their rhythm, but we're working on that. We're getting there. Yeah. This one part, how it says like, you ask the question, why would you have a contract in the Celestial Artisans? No minimum of 1,000 celestial years, maybe they have like a program, a perfectly balanced program that covers like 10 sections, and in order to be a completely certified celestial artisan, if we feel comfortable of letting you leave and representing a celestial artisan in the cosmos, you need to be taught on these 10 different aspects, and they take about 100 years each.
I could see that.
So you can't just stop halfway and be like, I only want to do painting, I'm done. No, you got to do everything.
It's like a human lifetime's labor dedicated to just one discipline.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And we're going to do that 10 times. So.
Oh, before I forget, I'll mention, I actually got a video coming out of those musicians playing last night. I'm going to put together a melody, so look forward to that.
Oh, yeah, and it's funny. Me and Tay Chilla performed the song we made. We performed it for the first time in front of the entire Urantia conference. They had a little open mic. It was dope. We got a video of that. We probably won't put it out. But like I said, we got our music video coming out. And if you guys play nice, blow up that chat and share this video, maybe hit that subscribe button. We'll give you another little sneak peek at the track. But we'll think about that before the end of the stream. So moving on. All celestial artisans are registered on the Super Universe headquarters, but are directed by Urantia supervisors on the local universe capitals. They are commissioned in the following 7 major divisions of activity by the central supervisors functioning on the headquarters world of each local universe. Number 1, celestial musicians. Number 2, heavenly reproducers. Then there's the divine builders, the thought recorders, the energy manipulators, the designers and embellishers, and then number 7, the harmony workers. The original teachers of these 7 groups all hailed from the perfect worlds of Havona. And Havona contains the patterns, dog. Havona contains the Metatronic glyphs. The light codes, dog.
The seraphic sigils.
Yeah, straight up. They have a bank of them. The Havona contains the patterns. The pattern studies for all phases and forms of spirit artistry. Wow. So they have a data bank of the dankest art that's ever come through the cosmos.
Wow.
They probably got our tracks up there, man. They have it before we released it.
Can you imagine that? I'm so curious to listen to
what
a playlist.
What if they are? What if they're like ear to the, you know how we're always looking out for the hottest underground rapper, underground artist? What if they're always looking out for like the hot new tracks?
They keep a celestial archive of artists on Earth.
Yeah, in real time, like when we make the hot tracks, they probably got our shit bumping up there right now. That's what's up, Planetary HQ.
I really want to hear alien music. I am so curious.
Tune into the channel. We got a couple songs on the channel already.
Yeah.
Star Hop, baby. While It is a gigantic task to undertake to transfer these arts of Havona to the worlds of space. The celestial artisans have improved in technique and execution from age to age. As in all phases of the ascending career, those who are most advanced in any line of endeavor are required constantly to impart their superior knowledge and skill to their less favored fellows. You will first begin to glimpse these transplanted arts of Havona on the mansion worlds, and their beauty and your appreciation of their beauty will heighten and brighten until you stand in the spirit halls of Salvington and behold the inspiring masterpieces of the supernal artists of the spirit realms. It's pretty cool. So they just take those patterns from Havona and just keep trying to transplant them, because Havona exists outside of time and space. It's the center of the universe. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, above this plane of reality.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to like transplant eternal light codes, eternal thought forms, eternal concepts into a time-space mold, you know? But they're trying their hardest. All these activities of the Urantia and spirit worlds are real. To spirit beings, the spirit world is a reality. To use the material world is, or to us, the material world is the more unreal. The higher forms of spirits freely pass through ordinary matter. High spirits are reactive to nothing material excepting certain of the basic energies, nuclear maybe. To material beings, the spirit world is more or less unreal. To spirit beings, the material world is almost entirely unreal, being merely a shadow of the substance of spirit realities.
Oh,
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Gives you some insight onto like UAP and shit like that.
Yeah, the higher dimensional things. Why does it look like magic flying through there? Are they possibly from these spirit realms? So I think that whole concept of the material being like less real, almost entirely unreal, it sort of makes me think. I like the analogy that we are that Law of One gives, like you are thoughts dancing in a ballroom.
Yeah.
And it's basically, it points out that like the best way to conceive the universe is that God being a mind that sort of matches with spirit. Sort of, there's no space limitation on really thoughts.
Yeah.
And so you get that analogy, and the thoughts are what brings things into existence. But
Exactly.
those things don't actually exist apart from God, you could say. They're more like in the imagination of God,
Yeah.
because it's being thought into existence. But even its existence is basically very, almost like so transitory, and then it has like this gradient where the first thoughts of God are so sort of harmonic,
Yeah. So high up.
with the unity field, that like it's just that trinity at the very top. But then there's these, I guess, sub harmonics that come out eventually as it just sort of propagates into a sort of self-created gradient system where it reflects shadows and shadows onto these tinier layers of reality. And when you get out to the very far ends of the time-space realities, the animal beings are like they're like the most unreal thing that has the potential to be pulled over to the real side and survived into eternity and actually like resurrected into the afterlife. And so yeah, it's almost, I guess in a way you could say, God is seeing just how far you can stretch the infinite imagination. And yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of like Plato's cave, that analogy.
Yeah.
A Course in Miracles kind of touches on that vibe too. That this realm we're in is a shadow of reality. It's a little unreal compared to the realer, higher realities. But the way I would visualize it is, if thought and mind and spirit are the realist ideals in the universe, we are kind of weak thoughts existing only because of our material training wheels. And as we go up the Urantia gradient, become progressively more spiritual and less material, we kind of build our integrity as a thought form to where we have to rely less and less on material training wheels to get around. So we become more real as thought, mind, and imagination.
Yeah. And exactly what you guys are saying, and the way I'm seeing it in my mind is like, most people can only see the material reality, and that's just a surface level. That's a scaffolding. And that's to the spirit or the higher ETs and angels, that's unreal because they only focus on spirit realities. And just like Chilla, I don't think you were there, but me and Magma were in the Crow's Nest today because we're running the video production for the entire Urantia conference. And he put up Marvin Garwin, shout out to Marvin, he put up a quote and it said like spirit realities and values that we're seeking, they're not a mere psychological projection. These are real like substances, like an actual like a Wi-Fi, like an energy that you can gain by seeking it. They're not just thoughts, they're not just imaginary thought forms. So knowing that, now look at all of humanity. Men and women are driven by thoughts and feelings. What propels you in reality? Why do you go to work? Because you need money, right? That's the energy that you bring, that propels you. Why do you get a car? Because you want to look a certain way, you know, because you want to feel that engine. Why do you treat that person nicely? Because you love them, you know. Those are all abstract spirit realities that have substance, and they're different electromagnetic or energetic frequencies, and they make you feel different things, obviously, because when you interact with them in real life, you feel real stuff, you know. You meet a girl, you get the car, whatever, all this stuff. So from the spirit beings, they're looking down, they only see that. That's all they see. They don't see our bodies. They don't see physical shit because that's not real to them. Because this is just a scaffolding, remember, to learn about those realities. People who only see material, they're using the universe wrong.
Yeah.
The material reality is only there so that you can learn spiritual values. Then the material will follow it. You know, and the angels, they only see that. That's why they can pass through material objects. And there is that does give you some insight into the UAP phenomena and like how they're able to phase in, phase out of reality. But there is, Taylor, I don't know if you could do this, but can you pull up a YouTube video for the people? Is that possible to put it in like a little, its own little?
I think I can figure it out.
Well, while I'm talking right now, there's a video of big objects like sucking energy out of the sun, and they got it on like a NASA.
I know what you're talking about.
A NASA telescope video.
That's crazy.
It looks pretty sick. But so that's my next question. This one line right here.
What's the video called?
I think you can just type in like large object sucks plasma out of sun. And there's like a NASA. That should be it. Is that the first one?
It might be that.
This twisters.
Yeah.
Spacecraft to fly into the sun's atmosphere.
Was it that black blob of hot blood? No.
Yeah, it looks like one of those videos. I think one of them might be it.
Was it the first one?
Yeah, go up to the first one real quick. What does it say?
Alien planet. NASA.
Alien vs. Sun. NASA sees violent ET shape in solar Spitfire.
Yeah, that's the video right there. That's the video right there, I think.
I didn't share this with the viewers yet. We're just finding the spot for anyone watching. So
my question is, you should see it, or maybe even like type Reddit after it, because I know Reddit has it. Or like, did you type in alien ship or whatever? What does it say?
Large object sucks plasma.
Maybe try alien ship. That's all it is.
Bunch of nothing.
They don't want to give it to us.
They don't want to give it to us. I guess keep looking for it. Maybe type in Reddit and Google, it'll pop up.
I think you found
this
it.
one.
That's it.
There we go, baby.
That's it.
Found it. So this is from like a satellite. I don't think it's up for the people yet, but let's just talk about this part. So it says, to spirit beings, the spirit world is a reality. To us, the material world is the more unreal. The higher forms of spirits freely pass through ordinary matter. High spirits are reactive to nothing material except certain of the basic energies. So they don't even respond. They pass freely through our wood, through our nature. Like, it's like whatever. Like, those are just bullshit material. But they can interact with some of the basic energies. And it seems like sunlight or the solar flares, that would be a basic energy, would it not be, for the cosmos?
Yeah, you know what it kind of sounds like to me, if you really want to get nerdy with the Urantia book, is that the unqualified absolute is like the byproduct almost the material byproduct of the qualified or deity absolute. And so from a high spirit level, maybe they are more qualified absolute, less unqualified. So when they see our world, we are mostly unqualified absolute with just a tinge of qualified absolute.
Yeah. And I feel like, remember I've told you this before, I think that stars are actually like somehow some type of celestial technology or nodes where the unqualified absolute starts to become the qualified absolute.
That's interesting. I can see that.
Yeah, like they're like portals or wells.
Yeah, because they spit out matter.
Just spitting out pure energy and matter.
Yeah.
So that's one of my concepts right here.
I like that.
And you've also heard in some ET circles, like they say the sun is a portal itself. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Like you'll see ships or high beings flying into the sun,
What?
and then they like appear at like a different
At a
solar,
different sun.
sun.
That's wild because maybe that like in space that would be the really the only geography that you could kind of map out would be stars. So
stars, right?
You get the location of another star, you could jump out at those coordinates or something. And it's got this big gravitational force on everything around it, so it'd be easy to map out for some advanced species or something.
Yeah. So what's up? Is that you got it up for the people? Is it giving you a hard time?
No, I think I can get it. I just have to have it up on the screen.
Up while you play it. Yeah, if you minimize it in any way, it won't play for some reason.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, this is this big object we are about to play for you guys. But yeah, you never heard about that? People flying through the sun? That's a cool little concept. Nuclear. The other thing I think about when it says this, nuclear bombs, you know? Like I talk about the Operation Bluegill Triple Prime. You guys know about Bluegill Triple Prime, right? That nuclear test in the Bahamas that supposedly knocked out a UAP on accident. And JFK was notified about this, and he got killed 11 days later. And he started sending out memos trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Assassinated 11 days later. But it shows the nuke knocking out a UAP, and the lore is the ET started showing themselves after we started using nukes because they're like, hold on. You got to stop doing this. A, not only because you'll blow yourselves out of the fucking cosmos. B, these weapons can affect more than just you guys. It can affect people in the spirit realms too.
Using the power of the sun.
Yeah, so like you can't be using that because you don't know who. You could be nuking a midwayer or something.
Do you think nukes could affect midwayers? That's
I
wild.
think so. I would conjecture so.
Seeing ripples throughout the spirit realm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they're like, whoa, we gotta let these turn these monkeys off, dude.
Yeah.
That video ready? Did you already play it for him?
Yeah, no, I got it ready. We ready for it?
Yeah.
Should I full screen it for them or?
Yeah,
Let's
full
see.
screen.
All right, give it a shot.
Close enough.
Kind of like that. Then.
So if you guys take a look at the screen right now, for the audio listeners, so this is some type of satellite
It's a
camera.
big spherical looking object or some tendrils.
Yeah, so you can see the
What
outline. You see the outline of a sphere, and it's sucking up plasma. And then watch what
That's
happens.
crazy.
Watch what happens. It's like refueling or something. And then look at that.
Whoa!
That's so
See that?
crazy.
What angle were we watching?
Yeah, see?
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. We got to figure out the source of that video. I'm pretty sure it's a NASA satellite. Or it could be a ground-based telescope, too. We have really strong telescopes in the ground.
Mm.
But look at that. And it's clearly like a sphere sucking plasma and then like
so crazy, and then it
like
just takes
disengaging.
off.
Yep. So maybe it was refueling. Maybe that's how they get their fuel.
You know, there are some really good citizen scientist YouTube channels that observe the sun and the sunspots and formations and all that. So that could be a ground telescope.
Well, if you look at the Reddit post, there's some like wild guy on YouTube who was tracking these things and say they come all the time.
What?
Like he thinks that the sun is like an intergalactic like refuel station.
That's probably where that theory comes from. It
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
something emerging from the sun almost.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Trippy, right? Just wanted to connect some stuff for the people because this is Forbidden Scrolls Live, baby. Thanks, Data, for
Nice.
pulling that up. That was quick. I cannot, with exclusive spirit vision, perceive the building in which this narrative is being translated and recorded. A divine counselor from Uversa who chances to stand by my side perceives still less of these purely material creations. We discern how these material structures appear to you, by viewing a spirit counterpart presented to our minds by one of our attending energy transformers. The material building is not exactly real to me, a spirit being, but it is, of course, very real and very serviceable to material mortals. I love that paragraph. It's always stood out to me, and it really like breaks the fourth, fifth, sixth wall. And it like gives you like a insight on how they perceive reality. So they need like, or they use other beings to project images into their mind. That's like, it's wild, right?
What if that's what orbs are? They're probes sent out to use like radar to
project to the higher beings what's going on here.
Oh my God. Frandalinks and chronodecks, dude.
Yep.
It's always the damn Frandalinks. Get off my yard every night. No, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Frandalinks on my yard.
That's kind of trippy, huh? Have you ever seen that UFO video, but from back in the 90s, and it shows like the orbs building the crop circle?
Yes.
That's freaking wild, right?
Yeah.
That was before AI too, kids. Yeah, this is cool. That's really cool. There are certain types of beings who are capable of discerning the reality of the creatures of both the spirit and the material worlds. Belonging to this class are the so-called fourth creatures of the Havona Servitals and the fourth creatures of the Conciliators. The angels of time and space are endowed with the ability to discern both spirit and material beings, as also are the ascending mortals subsequent to deliverance from the life in the flesh. After attainment of the higher spirit levels, the ascenders are able to recognize material, Urantia, and spirit realities. Dude, that's dope. So if you're like a high ascender or a Palladian or like a finaliter, you can always see the spirit dimensions below you. You know, that's pretty cool. And but if you're created on those high spirit levels, you can't.
Oh, so you earn that. Maybe that's another advantage to us being born here.
Yeah. Urantia gang, Planetary HQ.
Perspective.
Oh, that's sick.
So, I have a quote that I'd like to read here, and this is from Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis.
Ooh, so some C.S. Lewis in here.
The backstory to this book, this is C.S. Lewis's like first, it's part of his space trilogy, so sci-fi stuff.
I need to read that. I haven't read
that. The story I've been told is that C.S. Lewis and J.R. Tolkien, before Tolkien wrote, Lord of the Rings, and before Lewis wrote,
they were like best friends.
They were best friends, and they sort of challenged each other. They're like, we want to write a type of like fantasy book that we would want to read or something. They wanted to do their ultimate like fantasy book or something. And I guess they were talking back and forth about that. And eventually what came out of it, Tolkien did Lord of the Rings, and that was his sort of ultimate fantasy. Although C.S. Lewis has other things, so I feel like I'm butchering it. This was C.S. Lewis' first like attempt at sci-fi. Okay. So I'm not sure exactly along the timeline when all this stuff was happening.
C.S. Lewis historians are punching the air right now.
Right. And I'm gonna bump up my audio here. Mic check 1 2. There we go. So in this book, what is absolutely crazy is that the knowledge that so there's this guy Ransom, and he has an acquaintance who ends up building a spaceship that like takes them to Mars, and when they go to Mars they find life there, and so somehow Ransom gets
intelligent life.
Yes, intelligent life. But the other part to this is that they find and they're communicating with other like mortal species on the planet. They kind of depicts them as like these otter type humanoid otters in this book.
C.S. Lewis.
And C.S. Lewis.
That's gang.
It is, but he starts noticing like these weird flickers in the light on the planet, and sometimes he feels like he's being watched. And the mortal species there end up telling him, they're like, "Oh yeah, like you've noticed what the Eldil." They call them Eldil, and they're there, but they're not there. You can't really see them.
That gives me chills.
Later on, he gets taken to the planetary leader. He's kind of like
the
taken to your leader
headquarters.
Kind of thing.
They took him to their planetary.
They took him to their planetary headquarters, and guess who's at the planetary headquarters?
Us.
No, there's this being that they call Oyarsa, and Oyarsa is like a high Eldil.
Okay.
And what Oyarsa says to them is that, Ransom. He talks to Ransom. He goes, "Ransom from Earth? Very strange. you're known as the silent planet because your Oyarsa, your leader, long ago went silent, and none of the other planets heard from him.
Oh my god.
And so that's the story.
Have you heard
that
the
it
story that
paints.
C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were receiving like
Downloads?
transmissions and downloads?
Sure. I have heard
and
that.
they even say it themselves.
C.S. Lewis having like visions, or it was Tolkien about having visions of Middle Earth and stuff.
Yeah, and everybody asked him about it's a story, and he's like, it's not a story. It's
And you
real.
know what's crazy? In C.S. Lewis, like halfway through it, he breaks the fourth wall and he goes, "Now I tell you this: the things I write in this book are true. I put it in terms of science fiction, but I actually experienced these things." And at that point, you go, "What's going on? Like who is talking? Like is the narrator talking?" But what's crazy is C.S. Lewis inserts himself into the story as if he knows the guy who knows Ransom. It's like
what a
and it's
trip.
this weird thing, and C.S. Lewis is clearly saying, he even uses this phrase like, for those who have eyes to see, you'll know I truly did experience like some of these things. So he breaks the fourth wall, inserts himself into the storyline as a character sort of alongside these other characters in this, going to Mars thing. And it's just really wild that he has this Oyarsa concept of the planetary angels. And now here's what's crazy. We're talking about how spirit beings perceive material reality. There's quotes in here from the Eldil about how they perceive reality. And so here's the first kind of quote here. So here, this is a conversation between Ransom and one of these otter beings where they're discussing the nature of these Eldila.
Isn't that like a South Park episode? The
sounds like
intergalactic otter people. Remember they were like fighting a war. You don't remember that?
No, but
technology.
I haven't seen that, but it sounds like the Yargans.
Yeah.
Could have been a concept that taken from this book.
Yeah, that's
this is an old classic sci-fi. Anyway, so he's talking to this otter, and he goes,
"The otter people for the people.
What are the Eldila, and why can I not see them? Have they no bodies?" Of course they have bodies. There are a great many bodies you cannot see. Every animal's eyes see some things, but not others. Do you not know of many kinds of body in Thulakandra? That's their term for Earth. Ransom tried to give them an idea of the terrestrial terminology of solids, liquids, and gases. It listened with great attention. "That is not the way to say it," I replied. "Body is movement. If it is at one speed, you smell something. If it is at another, you hear a sound. If another, you see a sight. Or if another, you neither hear nor smell nor know the body in any way. But mark this small one, that the two ends meet." So that's a theory of vibration, meaning like all energy is at a vibratory rate. If it's at a slow rate, you'll hear a sound. As it goes faster, it'll become, the radio waves. Then it becomes a light, and then it becomes something else. And then this being is telling him, but surely there's a place where the two ends meet.
Two ends of the electromagnetic spectrum meet. That's
it's more than just the electromagnetic spectrum, because what it goes on to say is, if movement is faster, then that which moves is more nearly in two places at once. So we're talking, we get to light being the fastest movement we know of. Now this being is saying, if movement is faster, then that which moves is more nearly in two places at once. And Ransom's like, okay, I get it, that's true. But if the movement were faster still, it is difficult for you, do not know any words. You see that you made it faster and faster. In the end, the moving thing would be in all places at once, small one.
Yeah, so he's talking about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle again, how you can't measure an object in time and space because it can be in two places at once if you're measuring it. But if you push that to its limit, it can go
does
to
that have to do with
objects.
the speed of light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like to speed of anything in time and space. But if you crank that up, then
it could basically be two places.
It could be all places at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that so that's how I start to perceive the nature of the angels. The light bodies they have are moving faster than the speed of light as we know it. And so they can sort of literally be in two places at once from our perspective, just because of the nature of time. To them, I think it's probably not like that unless they're using reflectivity circuits. They're still sort of place-bound, but their conception of time is not linked to gravity in the way that our material is.
What if I could like right now transmit myself to China for like a split second and like move an object, but transfer myself back to here so fast that it looks like I'm in both places at once.
Back and forth.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like electron orbitals. Even though the electrons are moving at the speed of light, You can't measure exactly where the electron is in that orbital. It's just a field of probability, and it makes that dumbbell shape or the donut shape or whatever. And so imagine beings that can move beyond the speed of light, far beyond the speed of light.
Like a midway could probably do that.
I think so, yeah.
So okay, so now here's a follow-up quote. This is I think now this is an Eldil talking. The swiftest thing that touches our senses is light. We do not truly see light. We only see slower. Oh, this is the mortal perspective of what light is. So the swiftest thing that touches the human senses is light. We do not truly see light, but we see slower things lit by it. So that for us, light is on the edge, the last thing we know before things become too swift for us. But the body of an Eldil is a movement swift as light. You may say it is a body made of light, but not of that which is light for the Eldil. His light is a swifter movement for which us is nothing at all. And what we call light is for him a thing, like water, a visible thing, a thing he can touch and bathe in.
Yeah.
Even a dark thing when not illumined by the swifter. Ooh.
See, that's how I look at spirit realities. Like the concepts you talk about, like love, brotherhood, it's a real light, it's a substance. And you can like put it, your mind, body, spirit complex is a vessel, a cup, and you can like get your cup to overflow. That's that living water that Jesus was talking about.
We were talking about this not too long ago, that the Urantia book actually describes light as basically having mass. It's a physical thing that has to escape the gravity of the sun. And that's how light can get sucked into black holes and all that. And it's building up pressure within the sun until it releases. It's kind of wild.
Now, the last quote I'll drop is Ransom's conversation with this planetary, what looks to me as an angelic being, the planetary angel that they're calling Oyarsa, who is a type of Eldil, but can speak to the people. And on this Mars planet, this being still interacts and leads the population there. So it says, so Ransom is saying, but you, Oyarsa, are here on Malacandra, as I am. That's Mars. And then the response is, but Malacandra, like all worlds, floats in heaven. I am not here altogether as you are, Ransom of Thulkandra. Creatures of your kind must drop out of heaven into a world. For us, the worlds are places in heaven. But do not try to understand this now. It is enough to know that I and my servants are even now in heaven. They were around you in the skyship no less than they are around you here.
Whoa. This is written when?
That's a good question. Published, is this that? Let's see, this is 2012, but I feel like that's
it's
a
like
little
a different
late.
publishing, yeah.
Let's see.
Like the original edition, first edition. That's pretty trippy.
C.S. Lewis is a celestial artisan.
Yeah, he was tapped in before everybody else, man, because that was a while ago, like 40s, 50s.
1938.
38. Oh
What
my
the
God,
heck?
dude.
He just read the Urantia book and had to write that.
It's like that's before he would have had to have special access.
Yeah, like Contact Commission access.
Wow.
But no, I'm more inclined to think that C.S. Lewis was tapping into, his own sort of cosmic knowledge coming through him. I mean, he's a spiritual dude. This is before technology and everything.
Well, remember, the Urantia book says, as the time of this writing, there is less than a score of other contact personalities.
Whoa.
And we don't know if they were conscious of it or not. They could have just been receiving images and like, whoa, start writing that shit down.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought a lot about when I'm reading that story, like what exactly from this is the true part of it? Like, is it literally everything? Because in the second book, it does definitely seem to get like symbolic in a way.
Okay.
But in the first book, there's clearly a distinction between like this primary story of this Mars thing happening, but then there's also C.S. Lewis like inserted into the story as a secondary character,
Yeah, that's true.
not himself going to Mars, but witnessing some of these other things. Like he says he met the Oyarsa that came from Mars and visited Earth. It's really weird.
Yeah, and we know that according to the concept of the planetary reservist, when an old one dies, if he's very crucial memories, the Seraphim will take his memories and put it into a younger reservist. So like those energies can be transferred from being to being.
Yeah.
What if C.S. Lewis got the energy of a Oyarsa on Mars?
Sure.
For safekeeping. That's trippy. Let's keep going for a little bit.
Yeah,
How long have we been going? It doesn't feel like that long, but I'm getting hungry.
Let's see, about an hour 13.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We should at least crank out a section.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Where are we at? 17? No, 18. Yep. There is also here with me a mighty messenger from Uversa, an ascendant adjuster fused one-time mortal being. That's so he's like us. And he perceives you as you are. And at the same time, he visualizes the solitary messenger, the Supernaphim, and other celestial beings present. Never in your long ascendancy will you lose the power to recognize your associates of former existences. Always, as you ascend inward in the scale of life, will you retain the ability to recognize and fraternize with the fellow beings of your previous and lower levels of experience. Each new translation or resurrection will add one more group of spirit beings to your vision range without in the least depriving you of the ability to recognize your friends and fellows of former estates. See, that's dope.
It's a dank quote.
Yeah.
You got all your cosmic skins, and you get to revert. You get to put the mortal one back on, and hang out on a planet or see what's going on to perceive their energy range.
Exactly. I think like the entire universe is like one big testing zone or training ground so that you can prove yourself, or what would be the right word? Earn, I guess you would say, a new celestial garment or body. You know what I'm saying? And as you classify or graduate that sector, you get that body, you obtain it, and then you graduate, go on to the next sector. You have to earn how to navigate this sector and this new body, you know? And as you obtain, just gather all the bodies up to the Father, so that no matter what sector of the universe you go to, you're like, okay, I can whip out a body that can interface with this one. I can whip out a body that can interface with this zone, you know? It's pretty sight. That's how I think of it.
Cool thought.
All this is made possible in the experience of ascending mortals by the action of the indwelling thought adjusters. Through their retention of the duplicates of your entire life's experiences, you are assured of never losing any true attributes you once had. And these adjusters are going through with you, as a part of you, in reality, as you. But I almost despair of being, so the adjuster kind of just saves all your bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like you like save a skin. Yeah. Whip them out when you need to. This is like a cosmic video game, guys.
Autosave.
But I almost despair of being able to convey to the material mind the nature of the work of the celestial artisans. I am under the work of the celestial. I am under the necessity of constantly perverting thought and distorting language in an effort to unfold to the mortal mind the reality of these Urantia transactions and near spirit phenomena. Your comprehension is incapable of grasping, and your language is inadequate for conveying the meaning, value, and relationship of these semi-spirit activities. And I proceed with this effort to enlighten the human mind concerning these realities with the full understanding of the utter impossibility of my being very successful in such an undertaking. I can do no more than attempt to sketch a crude parallelism between mortal material activities and the manifold functions of the celestial artisans. If the Urantia races were more advanced in art and other cultural accomplishments, then could I go that much farther in an effort to project to the human mind from the things of matter to those of Urantia. About all I can hope to accomplish is to make emphatic the fact that the reality of these transactions of the Urantia and the spirit worlds. So, I don't know. My brain can't comprehend something that I can't comprehend. You know, they're saying there's other art forms out there that we haven't even started down here.
Beyond our five senses.
Or they're like, I imagine on an advanced planet, they're just like a lady going like this in like a weird circle, and like every circle is like a magnetic field, and they're like making music.
The art of magnetism or something.
Well, you know those, they already kind of have that. Have you seen those weird things people play? It's like a pipe, and they have a glove. And it's a magnet. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And they go, ooh. Yeah. What if you like set up one like that could like pick up your dance moves with your body, and they're making like music while they're dancing?
Yeah. If you just assign tones to different movements, I mean, we could make one.
Dude, I was about to say,
version of this that uses a camera where assign tones to like movements or grooves or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With like Oh dude, are we over here tapping into the future of art now?
Do it.
This is
do it
crazy.
now.
Now we need the Legacy Lab, baby. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
So that's just cool. My mind is trying to figure out what new art forms are there, and it makes me more excited as an artist. Like, can I try to help use my body as a channel to bring these down to earth? You know.
I actually like how they constantly tease that this is beyond your comprehension, because as you're reading it and you read those reminders, it's constantly priming your imagination to be cranked up to max levels.
Yeah, it's like, before I start, I'm going to tell you 100 times that you're too dumb. It's inadequate. I'm going to try so hard. And your culture, by the way, sucks too. So if you had a better culture, it would work. And I'm an angel and I can barely see your ass. But we're going to try.
We're going to try. Did you finish that section?
Yeah, I did.
All right. I'll pick up here on the Celestial Musicians, section 1. With the limited range of mortal hearing, you can hardly conceive of Urantia melodies. There is even a material range of beautiful sounds unrecognized by the human sense of hearing, not to mention the inconceivable scope of Urantia and spirit harmony. Spirit melodies are not material sound waves, but spirit pulsations received by the spirits of celestial personalities. There is a vastness of range and a soul of expression, as well as a grandeur of execution, associated with the melody of the spheres, that are wholly beyond human comprehension. I have seen millions of enraptured beings held in sublime ecstasy while the melody of the realm rolled in upon the spirit energy of the celestial circuits.
So crazy.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
What is that even? It's like a
The
beautiful...
light codes,
It's
dude.
a-
Ultimate light codes.
man.
ultimate bodacious light codes.
Spirit pulsations.
No, you know, like when a sunrise or a sunset comes up and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. But it, like, you see it and then you get beamed with the code and you're like, oh, start splurging all
light
over
shoots
yourself.
out of your eyes.
Start drooling.
Seizure on the
you know,
floor.
the addition of energy into a system, you know, makes everything move faster generally. You know, think of the microwave.
Everyone starts
principle.
vibrating.
Yeah, everyone starts vibrating. It's like, and that's ecstatic, especially
Oh,
when
yeah.
you get like these
feeling it
celestial
right now.
energies, like closer to the source of spirit reality, which everything comes from. You know, we're a shadow of the spirit reality.
yeah.
But imagine just getting irradiated by spirit energy along, but it's actually modulated through some sort of tones.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you ever been in a church and you hear the bass, the deep bass, and you feel your guts and your cavities vibrating with that deep bass?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that, but on a whole other level.
Well, dude, like I said, I was locked up for like a year. And when you're in jail, sometimes they don't let you out because, like, you know, there's shit going on. And I remember we were down for like 7 days. They didn't let us outside. And dude, when I went outside after those 7 days and the sun, like let the sun hit me,
Whoa.
I was like, oh my, this is like heaven, right? I could not believe the light codes ever hit my body, dude. It felt like ecstasy. I was like, oh, the sun. I took off my shoes and let it hit my feet. Like, it was crazy, dude. So I can only like, it was just fucking insane. And I can only imagine that on like a cosmic level.
Experiencing spiritual energy for the first time like that.
Yeah, after being locked up in the prison Urantia for
Yeah, the prison planet.
X amount of time.
These marvelous melodies can be broadcast to the uttermost parts of the universe. It didn't say outermost, it said uttermost.
The universe is utters.
I don't know what that means. Celestial typo.
The cosmic cow.
Maybe it means something. That uttermost, that's just a word I haven't learned yet.
The music vibrates the udders and milk comes out.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think
why we
so.
have the Milky Way.
Utters, UDD.
UTTER most. I guess like utterly uttermost parts of the universe. The celestial musicians are occupied with the production of celestial harmony by the manipulation of the following spirit forces. 1. Spirit sound. Spirit current interruptions. 2. Spirit light. The control and intensification of the light of the Urantia and spiritual realms. 3. Energy impingements. Melody produced by the skillful management of the Urantia and spirit energies. 4. Color symphonies. Melody of Urantia color tones. This ranks among the
Fuck yeah,
highest accomplishments of the celestial
That's
musicians.
the light codes right there.
Color symphonies. 5. Harmony of associated spirits. The very arrangement and association of different orders of Urantia and spirit beings produce majestic melodies.
Just by standing next to each other, you hear the resonance.
Yeah, because like when you put the two like the instrument, like we were talking about, you put two of them next to them, and like you know that instrument I was talking about with the what's it called? What's the name of it?
Theremin.
Yeah. Now imagine two angels are different, like magnetic fields, and they get close to each other and they start hearing. And remember that Seraphim video that I always rant and rave about on YouTube?
You hear the sound. You're right. This is taking off. Oh, the colors are
literally
changing.
Describing it right here.
Oh, and the Seraphim are blinking the light codes, the different, the color,
Freaking
the
actual light
frequencies.
codes.
That's the
on film.
Spiritual light transferring into material. And with the transformer, sometimes there's other beings that also help, I guess, them leave the planet from the pole.
Yeah,
right?
the power transformers.
Power transformers.
Yeah. I was thinking of my rap quote right now. I said, so the sons of light, the harmonic alignments. That's what they
get shoot off planet. Yeah.
And I noticed a loose correlation here with the chakras. It's very loose, but I noticed the book does this almost every time. It mentions seven of something.
Leonard Washington.
Leonard Washington?
Remember the World Series of Dice with Dave Chappelle?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my God, he rolled 77 sevens in a row. Ashy Larry. All right.
That's great.
The people in the crowd were laughing.
So the harmony of associated spirits kind of makes me think of the throat chakra. It's like association with others.
Okay.
Then we have 6, the melody of thought. The thinking of spiritual thoughts can be so perfected as to burst forth in the melodies of Havona. Third eye, 6th chakra.
Say that one more time.
Thought. The melody of thought.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
The thinking of spiritual thoughts can be so perfected as to burst forth in the melodies of Havona.
Did you watch my mental geometry video?
Yeah, it's like, what happens if you think the perfect thought?
The mental geometries, that's what I'm talking about, man. The light codes.
People just like, even I imagine like a human, like there's this spiritual melody coming through your aura because you brought so much light codes out down to earth and translated them, and people around you, it's like,
well,
it explodes.
Why do you think, honestly, when we like walk around and people they're like, something's up with these guys? They have like an energy, they have an aura.
Yeah. People do. I am convinced we do. People assume that it's all just like subjective programming, like social like cues, but no, there's something tangible. Even if somebody doesn't look like a traditional, like, oh, that's a cool person, then you're interacting with them, it's like there's an energy, there's an aura, there's something ineffable, the intuitive, that gut sense is like, these guys got it, that type of thing.
And there's like a light behind the eyes, you see, like when people have like the charisma and stuff, you're like, oh wow, there's something behind their, like, behind their eyes, there's something moving faster than the regular human being, and like that's crazy. I just love how it says that. So you have to, every thought is a color and a pattern. So like love would be a purple cube, brotherhood would be a pink Metatron's cube, but only the 3 parts are purple and the bottom parts are green. There's like gradients, like specific color codes and color, and like I think that's like a universal pattern in the cosmos, so that they know feelings and thought attached to a color code really quickly. So it's really basic information transfer. And now people on Earth, they're fucking with the biological codes, the earth codes, the dust codes. They're identifying with the Ferraris, the money, the booties, and all that stuff. And those aren't eternal light codes. And that's why life is hard. They're not in harmonic alignment. And I would say that's why the majority of people on planet Earth are experiencing something that feels unright and a little bit tough. It's because we're focusing on the biological dust light code, the dust codes, and those don't get your mind what it's saying in that harmonic alignment, the melody of thought, the quality of thought. But if you throw those away, which you can right now by hearing this, and you can start seeking what we seek, brotherhood, creativity. Every time we're together, we're doing something. We're creating something. We're just like leaking and oozing this creativity, not because it doesn't even feel like work for us. It just feels like that's what charges us up. It gives us it's fun for us. We've turned our life into a fun, creative endeavor. And like, we're out here trying to, I need to start working out again. It's been a fucking month, but working out and eating a lot healthier. reading books, going out and seeking these fraternal friendships like we're doing right now at the Urantia conference, those are the true light codes. Not the Ferraris, not the ice, not the bitches and the hoes. Those are dust codes. So I'm trying to get to the point where, you know, I'm looking around. We made it. We're killing it. Everybody's super successful. Tachula got the fucking grill on with diamonds, the Urantia grill on, iced out. And we're just flying around and we land and we get a lot of money and we're like, okay, how can we do this to help everybody hit their mind, body, spirit potential? And we make that fucking contribution.
How do you collect the resources
Yeah,
and then turn it into an epic song that comes not only through your own aura, but all the team that you build, all the people you're influencing.
Exactly. See that image? That's a divine light code right there. I hope you heard that. And by doing that, by helping gather those resources so everybody can hit their potential, I want to look around you guys with just overflowing with brotherhood, love, everything. Like the list goes on. Joy, integrity, navigating hard situations. I want to look around and when that my cup is overflowing and the light codes are hitting real heavy, I want my mind to explode into a harmony of music.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go so hard that you can hear music coming out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, he has the light codes.
When you're talking about geometric light codes and all that, it kind of reminds me of this phenomenon. People who experience psychedelics will often report synesthesia, where you interassociate meanings and values. So
we were just talking about that on the drive here. I was telling like I've self-diagnosed synesthesia because I see in these color patterns and color gradients when I think thoughts.
A circle versus a square will have different colors to it, or numeric values like 1 will be red, 2 will be orange, or letters in the alphabet, things like that. Maybe that is, and yeah, people are diagnosed with that, actually born with like hardcore synesthesia, where it makes me wonder if there's some aspect of our mind that's regularly filtered out and it gets unfiltered. And it's actually a regular part of universe reality. We're just not equipped to fully understand and
I'm sure the Pleiadians only see in color codes.
Yeah.
Like geometrics. That's like how they do it. Like taste is color code, everything.
All right. So we got number 7 here. The music of space. By proper attunement, the melodies of other spheres can be picked up on the universe broadcast circuits. And again, with the chakras, space kind of sounds like the crown chakra.
Yeah, and have you heard it? Somebody actually put up a satellite in space and they measured, I think, the rotation of every planet in our solar system. And every planet gives off a specific like song.
That's so cool.
It's cool. And people have made tracks about it.
Yeah, sound of
exactly.
Jupiter. But notice though, it's transposed, meaning that it's not just, it's almost like they take radiating energy and the way energy reflects and they have to transpose it down into the sound spectrum, and then they're giving you a transposed
You're right. It's not actual acoustic audio, right? They're like taking mechanical vibrations, I'm guessing, and then
I don't know, because the mechanical vibrations don't propagate through space.
Yeah.
So that must mean they're measuring some other energy spectrum, electromagnetic, like probably. Yeah. I think it's electromagnetic can translate into music pretty
you're
well.
right. Okay, that's probably what it is. So they're hearing like the magnetosphere revolve.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure they can tune the energy levels that they're tapping.
So hear it.
You know, would you be able to pull up a clip? I got something to show you about transducing frequencies into something audiovisual. It's really cool.
Yeah, is it gonna have sound?
It is going to have
sound. Let me check.
Sound it up. I'm having fun right now, guys. This is awesome. I love these conversation, guys. Love it with you. Love it with the viewers. If you've made it this far, don't forget to hit that like button so that we can get it to the front page, and hit that subscribe button so that you are up to date with all the celestial information. It helps us out and it helps you out. It helps you function in time, space, reality like a Terminator. And then it helps us create more Terminators, because we got to take the planet back from the reptilians, guys. This Epstein shit is getting out of hand. Well, Tachula pulls up the silicone electro codes. Let's drop some jokes. You got any jokes?
Any jokes? Do you have any jokes?
I'm looking at one. Okay, what did the star say to the planet?
I don't know what. You were hoping I would come up with something.
Said, hey, you looking mighty hard today. Oh. No, that was dumb. I know. Go back to the drawing board. Teacher, got the video.
So what am I looking at, Magma?
Look up on YouTube, shrooms on an oscilloscope. This is really cool. It's okay. So when you have an oscilloscope, you have an X and Y axis mode you can put it on, so it's drawing in both directions instead of just like a horizontal waveform. And someone has figured out, and they put videos up on YouTube. You can actually encode a sound file so perfectly that the waveform it creates is displayed on an oscilloscope as an image, but it still sounds like music. And they pushed this to the limits where you can render a 3D model and hear it. It makes a crazy harmonic sound as it's orbiting around. And people will take this audio file and play it on their oscilloscope, and it'll play back perfectly.
So I have a hot...
Yeah, Jerobeam Fenderson. This is the guy. Shout out to him.
Is that a play off Cherubim?
Maybe.
So let me see if I got the audio for you guys. Yeah, I do have it.
One with the
Turn
cherubs.
it down.
I'm doing like a 10 tabs of acid and bong-headed DMT right now.
Yes. Yeah, it gets really cool. Unfortunately, I guess we can't hear the sound at the moment.
Rachel is indulging in the...
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, here we go. We can each take some turns listening here. Yeah, check this out. There we go. Naz is making different geometric shapes.
Dude, imagine
You
flying
gotta-
through. Imagine flying through deep space, like lost in your spaceship, like you haven't seen anybody in a week.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this starts coming over the transmission. I'd be freaked the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, right.
Like, do I make contact with them or not?
Right.
Is this
Isn't that satisfying though? It goes
alien civilization?
when it's a 5-fold shape, it's one octave or something,
Yeah.
or one harmonic, and then when it goes to a 7-fold shape, it's a different harmonic.
So, what made you bring this up again?
This
What
is
were we talking about?
this is kind of here. I'll kind of fast forward through it where it starts getting crazy. Yeah, check this out.
What were we talking about? That
So, transducing frequencies like the rotation of planets into something you can hear.
Yeah,
Oh,
or,
the
or
sound.
thoughts, or spiritual thoughts into like a harmony, a sound
okay,
harmony.
Yeah. And the sound of the spheres. Because they're talking about the sound of the planets. Right?
I'll check this out. You can get
Whoa.
full on.
Oh my god, I'm about to assassinate the president. Manchurian candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Kundalini just activated.
Yeah,
MK
right.
Ultra mind control.
Jesus Christ. It's telling us to. Oh wow, look at that. They are mushrooms. That's hilarious.
Is that real on dubstep?
Yeah, and this, what you're hearing, it's all modulated just by the electron beam hitting the display of the oscilloscope.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that we could beam this up as a radio wave to space, and if they knew how to tune their radios right, they could
get
see
all these
this.
images.
They could get these images, yeah.
Oh, I wonder if they haven't tried that yet. Yeah, we should try that because like these would be crazy ass noises. You'd be like, what the fuck is this noise?
So one of the guys we actually met at Contact in the Desert, I'm blanking on the name, but he gave us a book. Mark Sims.
Yeah. Shout out to Mark.
He's like a technologist. He had a company that was actually building like robots on the nanoscale, like and you could like then print out things, atomic level robots. Yeah, and there's this whole backstory to it. But anyway,
He's talking about also like doing it on a biological
yeah,
level too, like-
biological level. Basically a computer program where you can 3D build at the atomic level, and then the machine can actually put it together with that precision. Now.
That was what I wanted.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like you're in the Matrix now. But one of the interesting things that he has done is he's taken, I think they call it a spectrogram, where
Sounds like a procedure I don't want to have.
you take an image and you translate it to sound, and then you play it through your like ham radio. Then the
Ooh,
spaceships have access to it.
Oh, because you're broadcasting.
You're
Oh, that's
broadcasting,
great.
and you
So
do
you're
this alongside
broadcasting geometric
CD5.
images?
You do this alongside the CD5. You broadcast this
Damn.
this image across the radio wave, And you can also broadcast like messages, I guess, in whatever language. And the idea is that any UFOs in the atmosphere, some of them might be monitoring, the thought space, but other ones you might get their attention because they see this frequency pattern that has like a cohesive order to it, and they tell their AI to translate that, filter in for us. What is that doing? And then the AI is like, I see an image being represented. If I display it like this, you'll be able to understand.
So you got me thinking right now. I got some images, some codes in my brain. Using radio frequency as a technological means of sending codes up to the Space Brothers, right? But like, what about like
Carl Sagan tried to do that?
But at the same time, we can do it naturally within our psyche. Our we can beam the psionic.
You don't even need radio.
So I'm sure they can pick that up. Like, look at these guys trying to contact us with instrument means. We have rules on this throughout the cosmos. We can maybe betterly interface with the internal psyche. And on top of that, so now I'm thinking those psionics teams. Like, if that's the case, like, because you're only showing the technological capability and you're using a radio because you lack the capability personally to do it internally, we're not really gonna show up as like we want to. If that's the case with these psionics, now I'm getting deep with it. Remember I was telling you how Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about what these psionics, like what they actually are. Like the Jake Barber story, and talking about how they have psionic assets, and that one Marine, what's his name, the Michael something case. Michael Herrera case, and he saw the psionics in those little units.
Yeah, those like air-conditioned containers.
Stephen Greer shed some light, according to his point of view, and says that the military has a pilot and a psionic asset working in tandem. And the psionic asset is like actually like hooked up to tubes with drugs, and he's like put into like a stasis or a coma, I guess you would say, or like a meditative pod with like, it's all black, like a isolation tube. And the chemicals that get secreted into his body are connected to a machine with buttons. And the military pilot will press a button and like put the psionic into a specific state, and the psionic will contact the UFO and take control of it and reel it in, and then the military will attack it to try to bring it down. Damn. Because they know the psionic way of attaching to is the best way to interface with the craft, but they can't do it.
Right, but they still want more control than just telling their psionic, like, over the radio, like, okay, now take out the UFO.
They want control.
Right. It's about repeatable processes, and it's like they've studied enough, all the way back from MK Ultra to now, they've studied the effects of psychoactive drugs to put people into specific states.
DMT hit, press the red button.
Yeah.
Now you're on the ship. Like, oh god, he's in.
How insane! I wonder how much they have it tuned. Like, can they actually like get someone like they're kind of phasing them through different energy levels and helping their mind like step into these? So crazy. But it's almost like harsh. It feels like a harsh, unnatural way to force them into. And I'm sure there's a toll on the body.
Yeah, Greer says like 60% of the assets don't make it through the program.
The initial run or something?
Just like over their career.
They just die
they're promised, them and their families, like total like identity off the map. You have a new identity and unlimited like money. You and your family are taken care of forever, but there's a high chance that you could die.
I feel like in that respect, the military doesn't know what they're doing. They're just trying, trying different things just to try to get control because they aren't naturally psionic. But
sure.
It makes sense though that you could project without a radio tower or anything, because I mean our spinal cord is an antenna and our brain is a Tesla coil.
Well, the military figured out the UAP, they prefer that, so they're like, okay, let's get a guy who can do it. Inject them with drugs, fucking shoot down their craft and steal their technology. So that I don't know how we got to that level. What are we talking about?
It's easy to get off topic.
Psionics. Should we call it right there and get some food?
Yeah, I'm almost done with this section here, so I can finish that up.
Okay.
I wanted to bring up that clip in particular because it's amazing how you can use sound to create a visual 3D form, and I believe that's how our bodies are made in the womb, just not with actual sound frequencies on the sound audio spectrum, but still with harmonics, acoustic harmonics, and our body's very harmonic, with the dimensions and proportions and all that. But all right, so it says
Some people are,
there are over 100,000 different modes of sound, color, and energy manipulation techniques analogous to the human employment of musical instruments. Your ensembles of dancing undoubtedly represent a crude and grotesque attempt of material creatures to approach the celestial harmony of being placement, and personality arrangement. Very crude dancing.
So isn't that cool though? So like, I talk about that a lot. There's an entire art form of just placing personalities in certain
like
arrangements and patterns that allows for, I guess.
Yeah, bro, it's called astrology.
Yeah. Yeah. We get four Virgos, 2 Cancers, all in the same room under the right star alignment. But apparently, I mean, it even explained that with the vision. When higher beings need to see lower beings, they need a being to like kind of project it into their mind. The seraphim work with us, and we work with the seraphim in our ascension career. You know, it's like the universe seems to stack beings together because like they have certain capabilities, we have certain capabilities, but when you pair them together, you have now more of a super capability, like a Megatron. You know,
that makes sense. Carl Jung's psychology and the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator. With the 16 different personality types, it's described there's a chemistry between personality types where some of them you're kind of neutral with, some of them you're directly opposed to, and it's almost not always, but most of the time the case that you're not going to get along with this personality type. And then you got a few personality types you just gravitate towards, and it's described as chemistry because it's very much like chemistry. You add different elements together. Some repel each other. So, the atoms, the molecules. Some attract and latch on and do things as a result. So imagine arranging a symphony of these types, like you were saying, astrology or Jungian psychology or whatever, were just based on their arrangement. New things happen and unfold.
Yeah.
And here we are just in the mix, blended together. It's like white noise.
I mean, and I look at our podcast, like 3 people right here, you know?
Yeah.
Like when we put our personalities together, we compound our forces, we force magnify, we force multiply. And now, obviously the seraphim, we need them to resurrect. Now let's think of like corporations and military units, you know? Everybody has a specific role, like in combat, or if you're trying to make profit. Let's use the war scenario, you know? You have logistics people that are cooking for everybody, snipers, people that are on the machine gun, artillery guys, people that are only focused on aircraft. And because they have different positions, but you arrange them in a certain way, they're very effective.
Yeah.
And it seems like, that's just a human way of putting it, but they do that up there. There's different assignments and different
a personality level.
Yeah. And it's crazy that there's music that comes from just stacking people.
Yeah.
And then what did it say right here? Oh, it says like our dancing is a crude and grotesque form of it. Hey, this paper, they're taking a lot of fucking jabs at us.
I know, right?
But it like, remember that one Andor episode we saw with the celestial, they're moving like circles and it looks cool and they're all dancing and you downloaded the song, right?
Yeah, you're talking about there's a wedding scene.
Planet. Yeah.
Oh,
and it seemed like they were
cool.
like dancing a little bit more on like a geometric harmony as an entire
the group dance. It was almost like how choreographed people like do it, but it seemed natural.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Maybe they just learned it on this planet growing up. It was like part of the traditions. Like even the dance as a group is a geometric harmony and tune.
And I loved how they depicted it. I think certain cultures do that, like some Islamic or Hindu, when they dance, they make like circles and they dance.
The whirling dervishes.
Yeah, whirling dervishes, and they dance in rotating circles. That's pretty cool. I wonder what the perfect form of that on like an Adamic planet or a light and life planet with humans. Have they like turned dancing into like you can create like a nuclear fusion ball if you dance the right way with like stacked male female that are rotating in counterclockwise actions,
Nuclear square dancing.
Exactly. You do the wrong move and boom.
Yep. So to get through this, let's see. The other 5 forms of Urantia melody are unrecognized by the sensory mechanism of material bodies. Harmony, the music of the 7 levels of melodious association, is the one universal code of spirit communication. Music, such as Urantia mortals understand, attains its highest expression in the schools of Jerusalem, the system headquarters, where semi-material beings are taught the harmonies of sound. Mortals do not react to the other forms of Urantia melody and celestial harmony.
No.
Appreciation of music on Urantia is both physical and spiritual, and your human musicians have done much to elevate musical taste from the barbarous monotony of your early ancestors to the higher levels of sound appreciation. The majority of Urantia mortals react to music so largely with the material muscles and so slightly with the mind and spirit, but there has been a steady improvement in musical appreciation for more than 35,000 years.
It's funny with the material muscles.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, guys. We like to fuck you guys. Like, we like dancing. Just because you ain't got them, you
They're
gotta
basically
hate, dude.
dissing what club EDM music.
Yep.
Move your body, but does it move your soul?
Yeah, I get where they're coming at though, like twerking. Have you
Yep.
seen those dumb Instagram videos? We should pull it up, but we're not going to. This girl's like, she's like some new age spiritual hippie. Oh, we should try to. Can you try to find her real quick? Oh man, she talks about how twerking is actually like a spiritual. She's like,
What?
twerking is actually spiritual. It's your body like releasing energies in the feminine
Through your
way,
butt cheeks.
and we've been so suppressed over the time that we're allowed to.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm like, dude, no, this weird. We're not gonna talk about it, but there's a weird spiritual.
Well, there's a whole angle
Back.
too of like sex workers' rights, and they have the right to express themselves in that art form, and it's a very perverted way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Appreciation. Tuneful syncopation represents a transition from the musical monotony of primitive man to the expressionful harmony and meaningful melodies of your later day musicians.
So I read that when I was younger, and that was the first. I had no clue what it was. And the first time I had to look it up, what tuneful syncopation is.
Oh yeah.
That's when you just mix two different beats together. So like the tribal people just had
they're syncopated.
the tribes just had this like, and then when they started putting two, yeah, exactly. That's tuneful syncopation. Now you're syncing two tunes, and that I guess that marked a big. When you see a planet do that, like if they've been cavemen for 20,000 years and they only have, then you see them start doing tuneful syncopation. You're like, oh, something's changing. You know, spirituality's evolving. That the harmonic alignments are getting more tapped in.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's almost like the invention of the wheel or something. It's like a milestone in their development when they can develop tuneful syncopation. The earlier types of rhythms stimulate the reaction of the music-loving sense without entailing the exertion of the higher intellectual powers of harmony appreciation, and thus more generally appeal to immature or spiritually indolent individuals. The best music of Urantia is just a fleeting echo of the magnificent strains heard by the celestial associates of your musicians, who left but snatches of these harmonies of Urantia forces on record as the musical melodies of sound harmonics. Spirit Urantia music not infrequently employs all 7 modes of expression and reproduction, so that the human mind is tremendously handicapped in any attempt to reduce these melodies of the higher spheres to mere notes of musical sound. Such an effort would be something like endeavoring to reproduce the strains of a great orchestra by means of a single musical instrument. While you have assembled some beautiful melodies on Urantia, you have not progressed musically nearly so far as many of your neighboring planets in Satania. Damn. If Adam and Eve had only survived, then would you have had music in reality. But the gift of harmony, so large in their natures, has been so diluted by strains of unmusical tendencies that only once in 1,000 mortal lives is there any great appreciation of harmonics. But be not discouraged. Someday, this is one of my favorite quotes right here. Someday a real musician may appear on Urantia, and whole peoples will be enthralled by the magnificent strains of his melodies. One such human being could forever change the course of a whole nation, even the entire civilized world. It is literally true. Melody has power a whole world to transform. Forever, music will remain the universal language of men, angels, and spirits. Harmony is the speech of Havona. That quote really stuck with me.
And with that, we should fucking give them a little snippet of our new shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Speaking of celestial artisans.
Yeah, we got some Star Hop that we're working on, and that's exactly that passage makes me think about. You know, music is strong, and we feel it, and we believe it too. hip hop is strong right now. It's probably the most listened to music around, especially in America and amongst the youth. So unfortunately, they talk about degenerate earth codes, dust codes, and we're trying to use that same thing, but push light codes. But we don't want to do it in the corny, sorry to my brothers out there, but the conscious rap way. Like, the government's getting us in the Illuminati and the pharaohs in my blood. Okay, relax, guy. It's cool though. I fuck with it, but that way, we like the sound of the modern day, like what's hot right now. And we just want to talk about the light codes. So that's really cool how it talks about that. One day, 1 in 1,000 people can even comprehend the melodies, the music. And then someday somebody will come up and hopefully blend the music codes, the light codes, the true ones, not the dust codes, to the point where you can change an entire population. That's all it takes is a song to get hot. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little something for y'all, and we'd like some feedback if you can. Subscribe.
Yeah, so do you just want to play the latest version of the track?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Planetary HQ, baby, debate the wise with my brother Tate Chiller. Yeah, we gone, yeah, we get it, yeah, we gone, baby. Yeah, open up the scrolls, decode the light beams, Elohim codes written deep in my dreams. JJ heard tack with the map to ascend from Adam Cadmon to Omega's end. I cracked open key 101, saw the Christ light shine. Metatron's glyphs in geometric line. 72 names spinning Merkaba flight. We ain't just flesh, we encoded with the light. I got seraphim sigils in my pineal dome. Teleport my soul through the thrones to the home. DNA's a ladder that I climb like Jacob with Enoch on my side. Ain't no fear when I wake up.
The frequency drop, light by the shine, make the whole world go stop. Acid dimensions, no need to knock. The door's wide open, keys will be knocked. Don't decode the keys of division unlocked. We're riding on waves of celestial dock. An infinite mind is breaking the clock. The relative time,
we'll do a slow fade out here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in now, tune in later. Now you got the light codes. About to go eat.
Yeah, about to get some food in our stomach. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.